bonus call with me today where I'm going to share some personal wisdom and insight with you from Bob Proctor around money, a couple of little funny life things as well. It was really tricky trying to choose just 6. So, but I will just share 6 with you today. So we're going to spend the first half of the call just talking a little bit about that and sharing some wisdom and insights that Bob has passed on to me over the years around money and lifestyle, particularly around money, mostly around money. 2 points, so a couple of affirmations. And the 6th one is just a great habit to get into for life anyway. So that's what I want to share with you. And then we'll also take a little look at what the client journey is going to look like for you over the next 6 months and get you thinking about the first few weeks and sort of get the plan and the path unrolled for you to move forward. So welcome. John, if you don't want to come on camera, if you can come on camera, please do. You might not be able to, but that's fine. But we do acknowledge you and we do see you there. So that's great. Oh, there he is. Hello, John. Fantastic. Great to see you. Awesome. You're muted, John. We can't hear you. I'm not sure if you can. There we go.
Good morning, Karen.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Yeah, I'm all dolled up because I'm working in a pre-polling booth today. So,
okay.
Multitasking, hence all the yellow.
Okay, that's fine. No problem at all. Will you just do whatever you need to do? Tune in with or without camera. That's fine. I'm glad that you're here. Good vibration.
I'm listening and I'm excited and appreciate and very grateful for joining your team.
Yeah, that's so good. And super grateful to Fiona for, introducing
100%,
us and connecting you with this.
Totally.
So, yeah, what a gift. That's really beautiful. I love that. All right. Well, let's get into it. I'm going to share with you some thoughts around money to start off with. I thought we would start off with a fun tip to start with, which was actually around carrying money. So one of the things to really, no matter how wealthy you already are, no matter what you are earning, it is a really good habit to get into to actually carry money with you, on your person. I think that you should carry more money than you would usually carry. So maybe you're used to, first of all, does anyone not actually carry cash with them when you're moving around? Does everyone? Okay, Hannah, you don't? Yep. Fiona, Simone sometimes. So it's a really good habit. And let me explain why, that we do form the habit of carrying cash with us, irrespective of what we are earning or what we want to earn. You think about the amount of time you go to your wallet or you think, I've got money on me? No. And we potentially could be auto-suggesting that, impressing that idea on our subconscious mind. Part of our money paradigm is unconsciously forming with this idea that I don't have money. So by simply carrying some cash on you, and like I say, more than you think is normal. So $1,000 I think is great because it'll smash the paradigm out of the water. 500, 300, couple of hundred. If you're used to carrying 50 or 100, put $500. More than enough. So you're really creating this abundance mindset. Every time you open your purse, every time you open your wallet, every time you put your hand in your pocket, you feel that you've got money on you. So you always have money. It's such a simple way of really increasing and improving your relationship with money. Because if we want to earn more money, if we want to grow our sales, if we want to improve our business, if we want to put ourselves in a vibration to attract more money, then we've got to feel really good about it. Really have a great relationship with money. And so this was a tip, that Bob gave me very early on in our coaching relationship it was $1,000. I went and got out and I carried $1,000 with me for a very long time, for 30 days, actually. So the initial test was for 30 days. And you'll notice when you start to work with me that often I'll get you to do a test. I'll say, do it for 30 days. After 30 days, you'll learn some lessons. You may decide to continue with it, but you will have learnt the lesson of discipline, and also what happens when you focus in a certain way consistently, what you learn about the paradigm, what you learn about yourself, and what you learn about what it takes to change a paradigm. So when I did this for the first time, I did it for 30 days. I carried $1,000 in my purse, and I didn't spend it. Now, that wasn't from a lack and limitation. It was to get used to the idea of always having more money. So, I would often have more than 1,000 because I wanted the base to be like $1,000 there. I might still have used my FPOS cards most of the time, but every time I opened my purse, I saw money. So I was really building that actual visual repetition with money. The other reason why this is important is because when you think about FPOS cards or credit cards, you don't think money necessarily. It's not the first easy thought that comes through. It's like, oh, I don't have any money. I don't have any cash, but I've got my card. And so we're disassociating our relationship with money because of the plastic that we have in our purse. Also, as women, if I can just talk directly about women are less likely to carry money on us than men. My husband, when I met him, he would always carry money. Maybe being a tradie helped because, there was always a bit of money on the side there somewhere as a tradie. But most men I know always just carry money. Not all women that I meet carry money. They don't have money on them. So there's a lot of societal, a lot of cultural, reasons why, traditions or roles that have been passed down subconsciously with that. So the first step before you go any further is today or over the weekend to go and get some cash out and put some cash in your purse. Aim for $1,000, but if you can't do $1,000, do double or triple what you would usually have, and get used to looking at it, touching it, feeling it. Most importantly, just knowing that you've always got it on you, that it's in your purse, whether that purse is on you or it's in your handbag, or you don't leave home without it usually. Worse still now, I don't have it because I'm not tech savvy, but my husband's got his cards on his phone. So we're not even touching anything now. You touch your phone. So we're even potentially disassociating with the idea of money even further, or money as an exchange. So step one is that this weekend, make sure you go and put some money in your wallet or your purse so that you've always got it on you. So you're starting to subconsciously build a belief, build a thread that I always have money and I actually have more than enough money. Such a simple habit, very, very powerful. Everyone happy to do that today over the weekend. Excellent. All right, there's that one. I'm going to call that, we started with a bonus step on that because that actually wasn't even one of my 6 things I'm going to share with you. So you're going to get 7 today. The universe rewards, right? All right, Fiona, you've got a quick question on that.
Just in regards to the money, carrying money around on you, if your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined, can you photocopy it and put a stack in your wallet?
You could, but I think that you will know. I think that you'd be better off with in this particular case, because we're really wanting to build a very real connection with having money. Mm-hmm. I would certainly, have a few $100s if possible. If you're used to not carrying any, have at least 100 or 200. Just a little bit more that really stretches you, just that bit further, because the reason is that one of the paradigms, because we don't want to carry too much money, because what if we lose it? What if our purse gets stolen? So we start to really explore these beliefs of loss or limitation or scarcity. So if you could just carry a little bit more than you ever would, that's a good place to start. Get really comfortable with the idea of always having money. You could try it. I've never done it. I think I've had clients over the years that have sort of like bookended it. So maybe, they've had either side and then they sort of fill it with paper so it feels bigger. But the idea is that when you open your purse, you can see you've got some money there. Like you can sort of see, there's some notes there. Or instead of $100 notes, you could do $20 notes. So you get $100 or $200. So there's a lot of money. And that's all we want to be doing, is seeing more money, seeing enough money, seeing a lot of money. And we're just building that with that repetition. If you think, like, my dad always has money on him, and it could be thousands of dollars just in his pocket, just walking around with it, But you think if you've got a goal of $500,000 a year or $1 million or whatever your financial goal is, how much money would you be carrying on you? You might be carrying $3,000 in your purse. You may be carrying 1,000. You could start to think from that self-image and just find an entry point there. You know, if you're earning $1 million a year, you might have, $2,000 cash on you all the time. Well, start with 300 and start to get into that self-image. It seems too simple to be true that it works, but it does in helping you really shift that money paradigm to a new level. Does that make sense, Fiona?
Yeah.
So even take $100 note and get 5 20s and you've got more money. It's perception. I'm carrying money. I've got notes in my purse, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So
definitely.
true. So true what you said about men and women as well. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
You might also, checkbooks are a bit of a thing of the past, but if you do have an old checkbook lying around, write yourself a check for $100,000. I used to carry a check for $100,000 in my purse, which seems small now, but it was a huge thing back then.
Karen, I found an old deposit book and I've just written out deposits to myself.
Yeah.
And my husband has posted them.
I love that.
So every day I'm getting a deposit in the mail.
That's so good. It honestly, these games we play with ourselves really do work. They work over time. You think they're a bit frivolous and a little bit silly, but it's what we do every day in disciplining ourselves to think in a certain way, to believe certain things. So great. I love that. Put it in your, anything like that will actually really work well. It will make something up. Lots of little games you can play with. But this is a really simple one. It doesn't take any effort, and just carry a little bit of money on you always. All right. So the next let's start with the first actual tip I wanted to share with you, was this idea that money is a servant and you are the master. Don't get that mixed around the wrong way. That money, and we spoke a lot about this during the masterclass, but that, money is really an exchange. It's energy. Money, and it's there as an exchange. The only purpose that money has, and this is the lesson from Bob, the number one sole purpose of money is to keep you comfortable and to extend the good that you can do far beyond your own physical presence. With money, we can do greater good. We can, we can donate money. We can provide opportunities for other people. We can provide employment. There's lots of things that we can do when we're in the possession of more money. And money is a servant. It gives us choices. Money in and of its own self doesn't give us the freedom. Money is just a currency. It's nothing. It's just a piece of paper. The mint can print more of it. It's nothing. It's the idea that we attach to it. It's the energy we attach to it. It's there to serve us when we shouldn't be mastered by money. You want to, and you will over time as you work with me, you want to create a place where you want it all and need none of it. Like you want all the money, all the homes, all the possessions, and you need none of it because you are not mastered by the physical things. You have mastered your own awareness with self to such a degree that actually you're so at one with your source, the essence of who you are, that you are actually attracting more. It seems like a bit of a juxtaposition. You want it all but need none of it, but that's the effortless relationship that you want to have with your source, but also with the things. And when we are in that state, we actually attract more of it. And that's the secret, when we really create that state, and that will come. So, just to remember that your money is a servant. It's there to do good work with you. It's there to have fun with. It's there to make choices with, and develop a really, really healthy relationship with money. Does that make sense? Yep. Great. Okay. The second lesson around money is that money is amoral. So what do I mean by that? I mean that money in and of its own self has no emotion, has no vibration. Like I said, it's the mint prints it. In America, it's even like more neutral. A $1 note looks just like a $50 note, looks just like a $100 note. We attach the energy to it. We attach the idea to it. We attach a belief system to it. But money in and of its own self is just a piece of plastic or a coin. It's that we've built a belief around this. We've built a belief that says, I don't know, one of these is easier to get than 6 of these. See what I mean? That $1,000 is easier to get than $1 million. We are the ones, you are the one that has a belief that says one is easier than another. It's the same with anything. We attach ideas. We attach, a belief that a big goal or a C-type goal is hard to achieve because it's new, because it's different. Well, there's a process. It's a new vibration. It's a new level of awareness, but it's neither hard or easy. It just is. We just have to become and connect and align ourselves with that vibration. Make sense? So it's really important that, because money is amoral, because it only has the emotion and the vibration that we attach to it, that we have a really healthy relationship with this idea of money and really understand what it is, that it's a servant, that it is energy, that it is meant to circulate. Its purpose is to provide goods and services for us, to make us comfortable, that we are good, that your self-respect, your self-worth, and I will help you with this as you work with me if you're lacking in any way in this place, irrespective of what your bank account says, irrespective of what your sales are, irrespective of that, you are not defined by that. That is an exchange. That is a method for doing and as we come to understand that, we're no longer mastered by it. It is a servant. You are already whole with or without the sale, with or without the money. You're the essence of who you are. And so the more we understand that, the more we let that flourish, the more we let the perfection, the more we let ourselves expand, actually, then the more of it we can attract. When we're limited, when we're trying to pull and attract more money through a tiny, tiny little hole that's become constricted because of paradigms and negative thinking, and then, it's literally like we are trying to, suck the abundance that we know is our birthright. We're so frustrated because we're not getting more of it, because we know we should, because a part of us knows that essence is there. And so we get frustrated, but really we just have to put in a bigger hose. We have to get more connected with the essence of who we are, more connected with the source, so we can let more of it flow. So really think about, and this is another part of this lesson around money being amoral. It has no emotion. It's all the identity that we attach to it. Is another reason why, if you want to improve your ability to earn money, if you want to have more money, if you want to live a more prosperous, wealthy life, you should never judge wealth or money or what other people do with it. And I learned this, a great lesson. So I always knew that. I always knew that money was, it's just energy and it's exchangeable. Bob really taught me that. It definitely did master me for a while in my life, my earlier career. But then I really learned about, not judging wealth. It just is. It's just a different level of awareness. People are making different choices. So on 2 occasions, so the first occasion was when I would always board an airplane and I would be turning right to go to economy and everyone else would be turning left, or some people would be turning left. And I would always be like, I wonder what those people do, that they can fly at the front of the plane. And then what I learned was it was just simply a decision. They just decided that that's the way they traveled. That's the way they wanted to travel. And so as I decided that for myself, then I too became aware of how to buy those tickets. My awareness expanded. I earned more money. The money was there that afforded me that choice, but it wasn't there before I made the decision. So, there was a positive experience. It was something that I wanted to do. So that was the mental switch that came very early when I started to work with Bob, and wanting to use money in that way, which to me just brought so much joy. I earned more of it. You don't need, it's why decision is so important. You don't need, even people getting into coaching with me like this, they say, I don't have the money or I don't have the time. And I always say, you don't need any of that until you've made the decision. You don't need the $10,000 until you've made a decision you definitely want to do it. I never needed the $10,000 to fly business class because I never made a committed decision that that's the way I wanted to travel. Do you see what I mean? So we have to make the decisions. We choose, and then we attract the money. Then we become aware of, how to earn the money and where it comes from, because it's all here. Okay. I had another nice lesson around this in 2020 when I saw a four-wheel drive Rolls Royce car that costs $1 million and the rest to buy. And I thought it was just, I said to my husband, I remember pushing the pram down the street and I was like, that is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Who would ever spend $1 million on a car? And then we kept walking and he said, well, if you were earning $1 million a month, maybe you would. He's like, maybe you would. And I went, you're actually probably right. Who am I to judge somebody else's choice of what they want to do with their money? And actually, as I judge, I limit what I can attract because I'm putting a negative energy attached to wealth and prosperity, a negative idea. So be mindful of that, as you're moving about your day, as you're seeing experiences. Don't judge because you're not there yet or because you've never tried it or you've never had it. Just go, the easiest way is to say, and for me too. If you can just add that in, if you see someone buying a handbag or a flight or a house and you feel triggered by their ability to spend their money on that, because we can feel triggered, and then we can judge and we can say that they're wrong for doing that. It happens very automatically. But then just practice saying, and for me too. And that's all you have to do to neutralize any negative momentum or any negative energy around you too earning more money. You just say, and for me too, if I choose, and for me too, if I choose, it's just that really easy energy. I'm going to add another one in there. This didn't directly come from Bob, but I learned it over the years. Never to come what we think about. So rather say, I choose not to buy it right now. Rather than going into a shop and you might look at a price tag and it's $1,000 and you think, oh God, I can't afford that right now. Rather say, I can afford anything that I want. I just choose to buy it. Not today. I'm just not going to buy it today. And again, we're just keeping a really, really healthy, positive, abundant relationship with money. So it's really important if you want to earn more of it. All right, how are we going so far? So I've got a few extra. Where am I up to? 4 points already. So this has now become the 8 most important lessons from Bob Proctor around money. Okay, point number 3. Now, this is really powerful. Keeping yourself comfortable. The more comfortable you can be, the more creative you will be. Now, this will be a bit of a paradigm shift for you because you might be very used to making sure everybody else is taken care of, everybody else is comfortable, and not so much around yourself. So what does this look like? The more comfortable you are, the more creative you can be. I'm going to give you some examples of this. Also, think about this. The more comfortable you are, the more creative you can be. We spoke earlier that one of the purposes of money is to keep you comfortable. Well, it gives you choices. It gives you the ability to do certain things or have certain things. So now I want you to start to think about keeping yourself comfortable, and you'll be more creative. The more creative you are, the more money you'll earn. So this is a bit of it's all connected here. So if you're comfortable, if there's ease in your life, if you feel good, you're going to be more creative. You're going to have more good ideas. As you have more good ideas, as you relax, as you open up, you're going to naturally open up to earning more money. Opportunities will come. Ideas will come that you can turn into products or services you can sell. Does that make sense so far? So what would this look like? I'm going to give you just any idea that I can think of. Parking valet instead of finding a car park in a busy shopping center. Parking valet will cost you anywhere from $10 to $40. It's going to cost you money, but does it make your life easier? Does it keep you more comfortable? Does it save you having to fight for a car park or drive around for another 15 minutes? Does it make you more comfortable? So that's, one idea. the difference between wearing a polyester top and a beautiful silk top. You know, one's going to be a bit hot and sticky and you're not going to be as comfortable and going to be like this in summer in Australia. You know, the other one's a little more breathable. It feels nicer on your skin. You feel a little more comfortable. These little shifts that you can look for in your day, there's no right or wrong, but if you're comfortable, you're more creative. If you're more creative, then you're going to earn more money. Your energy is going to be more open. You're going to be in a higher vibration. You're going to attract more abundance and prosperity. Not only money, not everything can be measured in money terms, but you will attract more prosperity. You know, you'll more of the physical conditions of prosperity. So, you know, comfortable working environment. I once had a client who was buying a off-the-grid home and it was a bit run down. It really needed a lot of work. And she was like, how do I stay in this prosperity wealth vibration? I said, just make one space in the house beautiful. Just make yourself feel really comfortable in one space in the house. So if you need to sell, if you need to make a phone call, if you're doing a business deal, you can go into that space and you feel really nice in that space. So you feel comfortable. You might do your meditation, your visualization in that space where you feel good. There's nothing to really trigger or create resistance. When you fly business class, for example, you don't line up in long lines for economy. You usually have premium screening routes. You don't have to stand in those long lines to go through security. You get to either board first or board last, depending on, you know, usually you can board whenever you want. There's freedom, it's comfortable, it's easy, it's effortless. You don't have to be in that chaotic, crazy, you know, low vibration state. It's simply more comfortable. So you're more productive. Even in those moments of moving through the airport, you stay more aligned with the better feelings, with the better vibrations. You're going to get an idea. Someone's going to call you. Someone's going to want to do business with you. Do you see what I mean? So, you know, that, yeah, it costs money, but you're also more comfortable. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that because, you know, I still fly economy from time to time. It's all a choice, but these are just examples of ways in which you can keep yourself more comfortable. You know, a suite in a hotel is going to be slightly more comfortable than a standard room. So start to see where there are a lot of ways in which you can start to make yourself more comfortable and create more ease. You don't need $1 million to do it. It won't cost you a lot more money. Test me on this. I promise you it won't. Most of you can find ways in your day to start to make yourself feel more comfortable. It could be that you get someone to do your ironing because the ironing you just hate it. Like, or to fold up your washing. You don't mind doing the washing, you don't mind, but folding it up and putting it away. Pay someone for 30 minutes to come in and do it for you. It seems like a crazy idea because the logical mind is like, just do it. Don't just do it. You know, start to look at your day, look at your lifestyle. Where do you have resistance? Where do you feel not so comfortable? It might seem illogical, but spin your bed around and put it in a different part of the room. It might make you more comfortable. Recently in my boys' bedroom, I think we've moved it around 3 times now because I had the beds one way and then I wanted it to be how I had designed the bedroom was to have the 2 beds, like 2 single beds, nice bed heads, but you couldn't move around the room. You know, Simone, when you were here, that, you know, there was no room in the room and I was like, this is just not comfortable. So I moved them back, one against one wall and one against the other. And so there's this you know, room to move around in, and it's just more comfortable. It's easier, you know, there's more space. They can go in there and play together. That doesn't cost anything. That's just noticing that this isn't comfortable. I don't like always walking around this pot plant. Move the pot plant. Make yourself more comfortable in your environment. So some things are going to cost money, and it'll be great that you spend money on that because you're more comfortable, you're more creative, your vibration is going to be higher. You're going to attract an idea, you're going to attract a client, and other things. There's so many things that you can do that don't cost you any money. Instead of always getting a coffee in that coffee shop that, you know, like, I don't know, go to the coffee shop 3 doors down that's more beautiful and have your coffee there. So there's no right or wrong with this, but this is what I want you to start to look at because it does make a difference. The more comfortable you are, the more creative you will be, the more money you will earn. Now, when we bought this house on the Gold Coast, Bob gave me a very good piece of advice, and I did not follow it. And that piece of advice was to get I didn't follow it for two reasons. Bob will be like, don't justify why you didn't listen to me. But the initial advice was buy the house and have it furnished and walk in and unpack your bags, because it's going to be more comfortable. It's going to be easier, like there's not going to cause any stress or anything in your life. And I agree. It would have been great if we could have done that, because it did take a long time to furnish it and all the rest of it. On the flip side, if I had said yes to just having someone come in and furnish it, it would have looked like a show home. And, we wanted it to be a family home. So, there's two sides, I guess, to that. But in hindsight, it would have been lovely to move into our beautiful new dream home and have just said, sign off on it all. Might have cost us $80,000. Literally, I think that was the quote. It was like $80,000 to furnish it. I was like, no, we'll just do it along the way. But what cost did that come at in terms of the time looking for furniture and the stress of going through a couple of designers? And, there was a cost that came with that. What was the cost? The cost came in the vibration, in the decision, in the time that I wasn't focused on other things. So, that's at quite a big scale. And I've shared lots of examples at a small scale as well. So just this idea of being comfortable and feeling good. And if you put on, you put on an outfit, something to wear, and you go, I just don't feel great in this, go and change it. Start to do that. Start to pay attention with how you feel, because how you feel is really important. It means that the better you feel, the more aligned you are with source. End of story. The more you are aligned with your inner being that is infinite, that can manifest anything that you want, the better you feel. So, start with really small things and just practice noticing how you feel and seeing what happens. And this was something that I really, I had to start to value myself a lot more than I was. And Bob really taught me that lesson. To value feeling good, to value myself, to know that I'm worth it, whether it was just in a little way or a big way. Getting yourself a personal assistant, or someone to help, even if it's just 1 hour a week, getting into that mindset, that's going to help. That's going to make me feel comfortable. In your own way, as you have to sort of break down this and think about how it relates to you. Does that make sense? Yeah, great. Okay. All right, one affirmation around money and one affirmation around life that I love. I'm going to start with the first one, which is more just generally for life. Bob gave me this affirmation. I'll still remember exactly where I was. I was crying on his shoulder at the back of the room. This one is, I'm so happy and great. And we will send you these, so you don't have to try to write it all down. But I'm so happy and grateful now that I let everything in my life flow free and easy. I only focus on those things that serve me to my greater good. So if you feel like you have a lot coming at you right now, children, work, business, sales, clients, that's a really great affirmation to help you to calm down, bring order to your mind and focus. I'm so happy and grateful now that what was the affirmation? Oh my God, I'm so happy and grateful now that I let everything in my life. I'm so happy and grateful now that I let everything in my life flow free and easy. Isn't that beautiful? I only focus on those things that serve me towards my greater good. So what's he talking about there? Only focus on those things. What are those tasks that are goal achieving? What are the activities in your day that are actually helping you get from A to B? What's the most important people, ideas, places that serve you well? And what is that serve me towards my greater good? Well, that's going to include feeling, because no amount of positive action will outperform a poor vibration. You want to remember that. So your greater good, that'll serve my greater good. It could be that you need to stop for that moment and go make a cup of tea because you're so out of alignment. You're so caught up in the emotion of something negative that nothing good can come from that. So you need to pivot. You need to go make a cup of tea. Thinking about your day. When you get your welcome pack from me, you're going to get a bag full of goodies. in there will be what we call a 6 goal achieving activities workbook. Well, I'm going to teach you to focus on a day-to-day basis about the most important activities that will serve you best. Like, where should you focus your energy today in terms of study, mindset, habits? So you're starting to think, well, what serves my greater good? What's really going to help me today? What's really going to serve me well? To not get, basically what he was saying was, don't get drawn into stuff, Karen. Don't get drawn a bright, shiny object. Like, you know, don't let other people's paradigms, negative emotions, stuff draw you down or hold you back. You know, let everything flow free and easy. And he would have me write it out. You know, write it out multiple times a day, say it out loud, and just, again, do it for 30 days. So that's one really great affirmation that you'll probably use on and off forever now that you're aware of it. The other one is around money. If you've worked or heard about Bob Proctor before, you've probably already heard this one, but it's still a great one to saturate your mind with. And it goes like this: I'm so happy and grateful now that, I just need to get my thoughts here. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. Hannah says I use it every day. It's beautiful. So when you are writing that out or using it, also practice attaching an easy energy to it. When you're working with affirmations, it's not only what you're writing and saying, it's how you feel when you're doing it. So you will make your affirmation practice a lot more powerful if you really practice a soothing, grateful, vibrant, easy energy as you're affirming. If you're saying, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me, please come to me in increasing quantities, you know, that's kind of counterproductive, because it's not just what you're saying, it's you're in this very tense, very not easy, struggling, fearful vibration. But so you want to really feeling vibration. Everyone understands what I'm saying with that? Yep. So you want to really relax. So whatever you're affirming, really try to get into the truth of it. Tone, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me and increase, and practice feeling that gratitude, practice feeling the truth of your affirmations. And you will just notice that you get bigger bang for your buck, basically, when you're doing your affirmation work. So there's 2 affirmations that will serve you well into the future. Nearly through these points. The next point we sort of have covered anyway, but it's, if you want more money, if you want to experience greater good in the world, like the business class, the houses, the cars, the more clients, the better staff, whatever it is, whatever you want physically, the first place we focus is on the source. So it's like looking at a stove and saying, give me heat, or why isn't it heating up? Come on, you know, I want it to be hotter. Give me more flame. You have to switch it on. You have to ignite it. Don't focus on that. Focus on getting it going. Focus on lighting the fire. Focus on flaming the fire. You know, we don't put if you've ever gone camping or you're from the country, you know, you don't go camping and you have your metal cooker over an open campfire and you put it on there and without lighting the fire. Your first thing is to get the fire going. The first thing is to focus on the source, correct? Then you know that if you put the cast iron plate over that flame, it's going to get hot. You're going to be able to cook the steak. So wherever you want to increase supply, whether that's supply of money, supply of clients, supply of good ideas, first focus on the source. Your first place is to focus on your connection with your source, visualizing the infinite connection. You know, literally, I literally mean close your eyes and visualize this big ball of energy. You're all walking around with this little trickle, you know, forgetting to really hook in and know that you've got this amazing source of supply that is infinite, that isn't just like this little garden hose. It's like a fire hydrant. literally visualize that washing over you. Visualize this powerful connection with your own source, with your own inner being. Practice visualizing in your solar plexus area, which is around your belly, beautiful yellow energy, beautiful golden light that is vibrant and rich, and it's expanding, and this connection, this prosperous connection, that you are already pure positive source energy. You are already infinite. You are already abundance. There is no beginning and no end. You are already prosperity. And because you are the thing, thinking about the law of attraction, the more you affirm that you already are the thing, I am prosperity, I am wealth, I am pure positive energy, then you must attract the corresponding conditions, correct? Because that's the way the law of attraction works. The law of vibration and the law of attraction work together. So if you're affirming I am prosperity, I am the center of divine supply, I am consciousness, I am source, I'm abundance, I'm wealth, I am rich, I am the center of, then you must begin to attract and manifest those conditions that are a match for prosperity. What does that look like? It looks like more opportunities. It looks like a beautiful upgrade on a holiday. It looks like someone coming into your life that can fold your washing. It looks like earning more money. You begin to attract the conditions of prosperity. So when we want to increase supply, we must also increase our awareness of our connection with source, our oneness with the infinite supply, because that will it's like adding the power, the flame to the actions that we're taking. We go out, you go out, you get your camp set up, you get your cast iron and you put the steak on it, and you're like, why isn't it cooking? Why aren't they buying? Why isn't more money coming? What if I light the fire? What if I focus on getting a steaming, hot, beautiful, glowing fire? Steak's going to cook a lot easier, isn't it? It's going to cook a little faster. So if we want to increase our supply, if we want to increase our results, action is great. We should take inspired action. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning with the flash of this video that I recorded in 2015 of me flying an airplane, and the message in the middle of the visualization was post that, post that, post that. And I was like, okay. Couldn't remember what the topic was. Guess what the topic was? Decision comes before how. Spirit was guiding me. It was showing me what piece of content to share. Now, I don't know who saw that or whether that at that moment, made them want to buy or help them, but it doesn't matter. It was inspired action because I was connected, because I was aligned. So wherever you want your supply of clarity, of ideas of what do I do next, you focus on that source of supply, knowing you're infinite, knowing everything there is already yours. You put your focus there. That's been a lesson that keeps on giving, that I have learned from when I started to really study with Bob, and just have amplified that through all of the study and mentorship that I've done since then. Does that make sense? It's a little bit of a one to get your head around, but any questions on that? Really focusing on source of supply. At the back of anything that we want, we need to go to the cause. We go behind. So we think, and this is where we start to get into the paradigm. Paradigm is the cause of our results. Let's install the paradigms of the results that we want. And behind that, again, at the most organic state, is the acknowledgement of source, is knowing that you are source, that we're all just a physical manifestation of a bigger, much bigger power at play. And that we are continually incarnating an image of ourselves. And now the truth is that you get to decide what that image is going to be. Okay? Great.
Karen, just quickly, when you're visualizing that bowl of energy, what color do you visualize it as? White or gold? Or?
Well, usually, like if I'm visualizing top down, it's sparkly silver, gold, shimmery light. When I'm doing like very simple chakra clearing or like solar plexus, then it's that golden, because our solar plexus is yellow. So it's more that golden yellow light if I'm really connecting with my power there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I want to do a cleansing meditation, I will visualize lavender energy. like purple energy. If I'm lying down with the kids and mucking around, meditating with them, we might cleanse, then I'll get them, like we'll visualize purple energy and we'll really cleanse from the inside out, that purple lavender energy. But if I just want to connect, really like visualize my connection with source and hook in, I'm really visualizing that ball of energy, silvery, golden sort of glitter, magnificent. That's what I visualize, and it works really well. Pouring through me, that I'm always connected with it. I'm never not connected with it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Perfect. Always make always. Oh, and the last one is a fun one. And this is about always writing with a good pen. So I've got some beautiful pens here. You will get a beautiful pen in your welcome pack. But this was a lesson again, I think it was 2016, and I was writing with a $2 big pen at a consultant training. And Bob literally stopped mid-sentence in front of the whole audience and looked at me and he was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "Never write with a crappy pen." And he threw his pen across the table at me and gave me one of his beautiful cross pens. And it was such a great lesson for a few reasons. So one was self-image, really carrying out. And obviously, I was in sales. I was learning how to coach and sell and present. And he said, imagine sitting down with someone and you're sitting down in a face-to-face presentation. There you are asking them to sign on the dotted line. Back then, I think the program was, I don't know, $5,000. And you're asking them to spend $5,000 on themselves. And there you are handing over a pen for them to sign with. That's a $2 pen. Conscious mind to conscious mind, they don't think anything of it. But subconsciously to subconscious mind, there's something not right with that vibration. There's not alignment there. He said, and they hesitate. They pull back. You're not aligned. So, let the pen always be good. Just make a decision that you've only got lovely pens sitting around your office. It does make a difference in how you feel when you sit down to write, if you write with a beautiful pen. So I think self-image, a very simple self-image habit is to go and buy a good pen. Swarovski have got some really beautiful ones for $80 or $90. You can get a cross-branded pen from Officeworks. Hopefully you've already probably got some nice ones. We are going to give you a nice one in your welcome pack to start with anyway. And just make it a habit to start collecting beautiful pens to write with. So that was the great self-image lesson, connected to a pen, to be writing with a beautiful pen and to value yourself, that you can write with a good pen. The other thing that I've learned, and Bob really sort of doubled down on this as well, is your thoughts are your most valuable asset. Correct? With your thoughts, you make your life. And your pen is the vehicle that you get the thought out of your head and onto the paper. So let's let that thought flow through a beautiful pen. Again, I'm not concerned about whether you're spending $40 or $300, but just make sure you've got a nice pen, no longer a $2 pen. It's got to be, some sort of really nice. And you know how many people I've had over the years fight me on this? They're like, "But I like writing with a pencil," or this, it just writes so beautifully. Like, I don't care. And I'm like, you can also find some very beautiful pens that will cost you $40, or you go and pick up a Mont Blanc and fill it with ink and you write with that. And I bet. So again, like just being open to these ideas. A lot of what I've shared with you is really simple, but it makes a difference. It's these little adjustments that we make that don't cost a lot more time or energy, but they really do make a difference in changing the paradigm. So get a good pen. That was a great lesson. I've never forgotten it. And I've shared it with every client I've ever had that has worked with me. So now we put them in your welcome pack. So you've got no excuse. You should always write with a good pen. All right. Any questions on those? I think we ended up with about 8 or so sort of key ideas. Any questions, comments about those? No? All right, great. So the client journey for you, starting really, we will get more into this as we get going, but just at a very high level, a little bit of housekeeping. So if you haven't already received a welcome email and lesson 1 from me, you will soon. Either it hasn't sent or it's sent, or we'll make sure that you've got that. In there, you should have a link to join our Thinking into Results Facebook group. So put yourself in that Facebook group. I think most of you have already found your way into there. The first 6 weeks are really when we lay the foundation. So over the first 6 weeks, we're going to look at your C-type goal is the first 2 weeks. Then we're going to look at self-image. Then we're going to look at attitude. So why we do it like that is that your C-type goal is that image. It's the center. It's that point that we've chosen to focus on. It will come. If you think, I don't know what I want right now, that's part of the program. You've got time and space to figure that out. Then we've got to start to think, all right, well, to close the gap on that goal, who do I need to become? What is my new self-image? So I get you using your imagination, which is one of your 6 mental faculties, get you dreaming, get you thinking, your reasoning faculty, and starting to build an image of who you want to be. What's the next version of you look like? What does that not only look like in physical things, but it's mindset, it's beliefs. What do you want to believe next? And then we look at attitude. What would be the dominant attitude that I should embody most of the time? And so with those 3 elements, we really lay a beautiful foundation. Then every lesson from then on is sort of just practicing putting that into action. I'm going to teach you how to close the knowing doing gap, the basic steps to changing a paradigm. But now we've got a good basis to see, well, what paradigms would I need to change to begin to really live that self-image, to have that attitude more of the time. So we're going to look at closing the knowing doing gap. We're going to look at your mental faculties. And this is like the mental muscles of the mind, the trick to staying in control of you when everything outside you is just going in a certain way, the trick to staying in charge no matter the circumstance. We're going to look at the terror barrier, the number 1 cause of failure, which is fear and procrastination. Some of you might have had to crash through that a little bit, even just to sign up and be here. So you've already taken that next step and you've conquered that terror barrier. The good thing about the terror barrier is it's normal. I was coaching a client this morning who's been in it for like 3 weeks. And I said, this is good. Like, let's just help you understand what's going on here, because it's a good sign of change. We fear things that we don't understand. We pull back from opportunities when we don't understand, because it triggers a response in our body. And so I'm going to help you to understand what happens with growth. So you're going to be able to empower yourself in those moments where you don't know whether you should or you shouldn't, to really know what the right decision is for you and be able to push forward. Intuition is always there first. Terror barrier, paradigm comes second, to question the decision of what you want to do. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at your belief systems. So you have belief at 2 levels, in your conscious and subconscious mind. I'm going to teach you how to close that gap and really move what you consciously want to believe into your subconscious mind. We'll look at areas of like finance, business, staff, holidays, all sorts of different areas. What else are we going to look at? We're going to look at leadership, leading yourself first, leadership and followership. We're going to look at the law of cause and effect, leaving everyone with the impression of increase, and there's other lessons in between all of that, but there's 12 lessons in total. So a lesson every 2 weeks for 24 weeks. Our weekly calls are on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. They are recorded, and the recording is put in the Facebook group. So if you're not able to join live, then you can watch the recording. Although I would block out Tuesdays at 11 a.m. And try to be there live as much as you can. You really enjoy the live calls. We are at the moment also trialing a reading club at 4:30, which Simone is running. Simone is also on the team, as you would know. And so at 4:30 for 30 minutes, we look at a piece of literature from the participants guide. They are completely optional. I mean, everything is optional. You can do as much or as little, but you might join in for a week and then not do the next week, or you might shop every day, but we're just in the middle of seeing how that goes for a month, and if people are enjoying that extra little bit of accountability every day. So we are, so the teaching call, Hannah, is on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. So that's with me. I'm teaching and coaching you. I'm teaching you the lessons, answering your questions. And then every day at 4:30, it's like a reading room. So it's a reading club. We read a reading from the program and we study it for 30 minutes for that. So that's every day at 4:30. There is also, you know what, I'm going to leave it there. I think that's a good overview of where you're going to go over the next 6 months. You should get very enthused, very excited. We are not going to overwhelm you with anything. It is a step-by-step process. It is a roadmap, a recipe. Just follow along week by week, day by day, and it will 100% work for you. We can work on any goal, any paradigm shift you want to make. We're here to help you with that. I'm here to help you with that. All right. So that's it from me. Rochelle, you've got a question?